Here's why I am for assisted suicide. Because of Alesia Bollinger. Alesia Bollinger is the one who changed my mind from suicide being something that someone should do alone to something that someone else should do. I can't bring myself to kill myself. I tried back in January of 2018, before they found the guy that killed Natalie, because of the things that the police across the entire state of Colorado had done, and police in the state of Nebraska, Colorado, and Virginia had done before Natalie was killed. Take my things and brush me off like I'm not a human being. Assume my guilt and punish me without a day in court. The police did this because Alesia Bollinger is a liar. But there's no consequences for her lies, are there? She gets to go right back to doing the same drugs with the same druggies. I am for assisted suicide because we live in a society that caters to rich women. You want to say it's for rich men, but really those rich men are listening to the women in their lives because those women can take half of their money. Rich people cater to looks. That Epstein feller, he wasn't hiring no ugly girls, was he? Of course he wasn't. He was spending his money on pretty jets, pretty girls. Fuck that place. Alesia Bollinger and Natalie Bollinger lying and claiming that I stalked them to Virginia. I didn't. I've already proven that with me and Natalie's own screenshots, our own conversations between her and I, and between Alesia and I. They just figured if they told a little white lie, they could save themselves some embarrassment. But the fact is, I had to deal with assaults as soon as I got back to Boulder. As far as Colorado law is concerned, pushing me is assault. So my very first day there, getting people pushing me, yeah, that's assault. According to my definition, it's not. It's still wrong, but it's not assault. I believe in assisted suicide because I believe Alesia Bollinger should be the one to pull the trigger. If somebody is being treated like a child molester or a rapist, they should be allowed to face their accuser. Now, according to Maddie Boa, Natalie Bollinger, and Alesia Bollinger's meth-headed friends in Boulder, Colorado, I supposedly raped or molested some girl in Virginia. That some girl was either Natalie or Alesia, correct? Well, I never had any one-on-one time with Natalie. And by Natalie's own admission on her very own Facebook, her and I never had a sexual relationship. I was never allowed to defend myself against any of the slander by these people, ever. These people were allowed to slander my name in court without even going to court. Meanwhile, I have to go to court over and over and over and over again. And I'm never allowed to show any evidence. Their slander is allowed in court, but the actual evidence isn't. And in the one court date where I could have faced my accuser, Alesia Bollinger, I was illegally prevented from going. I was assaulted by an officer who didn't do his job in the situation with Natalie. He got transferred from Broomfield to Longmont, and he got to assault me at the Longmont Hospital. This is why assisted suicide should be legal. Matter of fact, it should be mandatory. The fact is, Alesia Bollinger, Natalie Bollinger, and Maddie Boa, all three knew what I was going through. I let all three of them know, but I didn't know how to take screenshots, right? I screenshotted Tim Beeson's threats and his accusations. The only person that I could have done those things to is Alesia Bollinger. But how many times had she said that I raped her? None. How many times has she called me a rapist? None. How many times has she said I molested her? None. Not even once. It's a bunch of fucking wingnuts who keep calling me that shit over a fucking shitty-ass rumor that never should have been started. Alesia Bollinger chose to assume the worst in me. But the fact is, the lies that she told in Virginia resulted in a lot worse things happening. All of these people harassing me and threatening me for the last 3 years, every single bit of this is Alesia Bollinger's fault. Yes, I'm saying it's her fault. She should have told the truth. She should have told the truth all the way back in Virginia. And I should have been allowed to face her in court. I should have been allowed to show evidence. You know why I packed up my computer and all the stuff that I had to go see Natalie Bollinger on the 16th of December of 2017 at her request? Because I didn't know how to take fucking screenshots. So I was going to show her that computer and that telephone in person. Show her what the fuck was going on. What I was going through. She didn't fucking care. She didn't care how her lies destroyed an innocent man's life. She didn't care how her lies prevented me from seeing my loved ones, prevented me from seeing my older brother. And yeah, I understand that he's on fucking meth, but I still love him. He's my brother. Obviously, he's proven in the last 2 years he doesn't give a shit about me. But there's a lot of people I loved in Boulder, and I don't get to see any of them. This is why assisted suicide should be legal. I've been helping find missing people for years, helping to get the word out. And you know what? That doesn't matter. This young woman who disappeared in South Dakota, Selena, instead of people being focused on finding that young woman, I got people focused on telling false stories, bearing false witness. In the name of Jesus, they're bearing false witness. Just like Alesia Bollinger. Just like Danica Garner. What is it with alcoholics and junkies playing like they believe in Jesus? No, you fucking don't. And that's the problem, is that no matter what, I don't get to face my accusers. I have to deal with people on the internet. That's all I have. That is my connection to the outside world. I don't have the money to take care of myself. I can't put food on my own fucking table. I don't even own a table. Let alone go to all of these places that I'm required to go because I was never allowed to defend myself in court. And then I'm some sort of terrible person who's not complying if I can't make it to these places because I have no money. I went to Rihanna Ingersoll's to help her out. To help her with 2 kids that are very, very, very naughty children. Amy Spencer's daughters are terrible children. There is no doubt about that. But then again, something needs to be said about Rihanna and how she acts when she's drinking. She's been sober for over a month now, according to her. I hope that's true. But the fact is, I went there because she promised to help me. And when I got there, it turned out she had been completely full of shit. Now, the last time I was in contact with her, she apologized. She said, well, I was drunk all the time. Well, that's fine, Rihanna. Because if given the chance, I'd do the same thing again. Those girls are important. They're still human beings, and they deserve an honest chance. But you hitting them ain't right. And that's the thing, is that no matter what, I'm always the bad guy. No matter what I do, I am always the bad guy. No matter how good my intentions are, I'm always the bad guy. And while the Bollingers, in their drugged up stupor, worked together and coordinated with the people who hated me because I was never allowed to defend myself in court, I have to deal with that for the rest of my life now because Alesia Bollinger didn't come forward with the truth when it mattered. Whose idea was it for me to stay behind Natalie's work? I didn't stay behind Natalie's work. I stayed behind Alesia's work at Alesia Bollinger's request. Whose idea was it to go to Virginia Beach? It wasn't my idea. Whose idea was it to go to the pagoda in Norfolk? It wasn't my idea. I didn't even know that place existed. How about on my birthday when we were supposed to have a picnic, just me and Natalie, in her parents' driveway, or her mother's driveway? We went to Elliot's Coffee Grounds. Whose idea was that? Huh? Did I stalk them there? Fuck no, I didn't. I was invited to all of those places. I posted up the screenshots of that on my Facebook for the whole fucking world to see. But you type my name up, Sean Schwartz, anywhere on the internet, you're not going to see any of that. Because that's not the stuff that's hateful towards me. That's not the stuff that paints me in the light that I really am. They just post up the stuff that they can go, oh, see, we were right. Because being right in your mind is more important than being morally correct. Because the fact is, you're not right. You're going out of your way to paint me as a villain. And I shouldn't have ever had to deal with that. I never should have been assaulted. I never should have had my name slandered to begin with. When Natalie knew that I was being treated like a child molester, she was 18 years old, first of all, when we started hanging out. 18. Second of all, we never had sex or anything approaching a sexual relationship. We weren't boyfriend and girlfriend like Kara Johnson Miles lied to the courts about and claimed. Everyone should be allowed to defend themselves. I don't care who it is that attacked you. If you are attacked, you defend yourself. There's that native girl up there who was beaten to death by her dad. And that's why it doesn't matter if it's family. If you're attacked, you defend yourself. There are plenty of people beaten to death by the police every year. If you're attacked, you fucking defend yourself. It doesn't have to be a fucking stranger. It doesn't have to be a bearded, bald, white dude. Nobody should have to go through what I've gone through. People want to be pissed off